Kia ora and welcome to Oho Ake Books. My name is Whareus Lysander. I want to talk about, again, go back into the process of books that have inspired me to write the content that I've written and the books that I've written over the years. And researchers have also helped me to get a deeper understanding of the nature of reality that we are experiencing today, and also the nature of reality across the expanses of the timelines, divergent and otherwise, that we find ourselves in. Now, this particular researcher I have been following since 2001. When I was living in Vancouver in 2000, I was in my process of deep conscious spiritual awakening, but I was also teetering a line between living a very egotistical lifestyle as well, and sort of moving between this flux of being in a very egotistical place in my life, but also delving into that path, that conscious spiritual awakening path that was pulling me towards that level of conscious awakening and awareness, where I was beginning to understand that my processes would take me here stronger in the future, but I just wasn't quite ready to make the big step I needed to make in order to really come to terms with what was really going to happen for me in the near future in regards to my healing processes, about my own childhood experiences, and my own conscious and awakening to a place where I was able to move into it fully without the fear of not having the tools to be able to come to a place where I began to understand that this was where I wanted to go, but I wasn't quite ready to let go of that lifestyle that I created for myself, or was creating for myself at that time. My flatmate Cory Stovin gave me a book called I Am Free, I Am Me by David Icke. And I remember looking at the cover, which is a picture of David Icke naked on the cover. In Canada, it had a sticker over his private parts, which Cory pulled off. And I read the book in about 4 or 5 days, and I was just fascinated by the way it was written, and the information that was presented in that book made me really consider that this path was a path that was really beckoning to me really strongly, and I wasn't quite ready to go fully into it, but I really wanted to begin the process of taking incremental steps towards my conscious awakening experience to a deeper level, where I trusted that every moment that I took in that process would bring me to where I am today in 2021. And funnily enough, Cory told me that same time he gave me the book, that David Icke was coming to talk in Vancouver at the Orpheum Theatre in 2000. And I said, I'm keen to go. And my flatmate Erin and Cory's sister Hayley, we all bought tickets, and we all went to the seminar, the day-long talk that David Icke gives, about 10.5, 12 hours, which are phenomenal. I've seen 3 since that time. I've seen 3 in New Zealand. Since I got back to Aotearoa in 2003, I've seen David Icke speak here 3 times. And it's the most enthralling and fascinating time to actually see him talk and see the incredible ability that he has to join all these dots, remember all these names, these dates, these places, these times, these events. His recall is superhuman in every way in regards to the way I perceive what a superhuman being could do. Incredible. Really well worth checking out. Just so great. But David Icke has been instrumental for me in regards to my processes of conscious spiritual awakening, and also the content that I presented in my books. A lot of what I presented in those books I owe a huge debt of gratitude to David Icke for his research, for enlightening me, and for giving me seeds from which germinated from those seeds my own personal intuitive discoveries that led me to find content and to also channel information through my authors that allowed me to elaborate and to take trajectories for my characters that illuminated this information that I've discovered through David and my own personal channeling work. Now I'm taking you over to my bookshelf in my house where I live, and over here are some of the books that I used to write some of the books that I have written too, in regards to references. Now my collection here of David Icke books goes from here Human race, get off your knees, the lion sleeps no more, to hear Tales of the Time Loop over here. I don't know if you can see that or not. And in between here are all the books, apart from here, which is Keepers of Genesis by Robert Bouval and Graham Hancock, which is sort of like the big books are all on one side of the shelf, obviously. But all these books here helped me a great deal to write Entwined, a little bit of Sanctum, definitely helped me to write United as well, and plant some seeds for me to elaborate further on my trajectory of my characters and also my understanding on that timeline that I wrote about, which goes through Entwined into United and then into a golden age and a paradigm shift. These books were all instrumental for me in finding out and into elaborating, especially in Entwined. At the end of Entwined, where Lord Buford Somerset meets Jumanju in a grotto, a cave, and Jumanju is this immortal, interdimensional being in a cave in the Simeon Mountains in Ethiopia, who elaborates to him the timeline of the history of the galaxy, our planet, and of course the future tense, but also elaborates to Buford who he was in a past incarnation and why this particular controlling hand has basically set this ruse up for him to come, and I'll leave it there. The book has to be read to find out the answer. So for me, one of the biggest books and best books I utilised in regards to David Icke's information at the time I was writing Entwined in 2008 was David Icke's Guide to the Global Conspiracy and How to End It. That was massive for me in regards to helping me to elaborate further and to bring information that I wanted to bring out that kind of tied together my own dot connections and my own channeling work I took from a number of books at the time. And Children of the Matrix, which is here as well, over here. There it is, under here. Children of the Matrix, whoops. Just here. This book as well was instrumental for me as well in regards to feathering out the connection, or feathering out, said it again, for elaborating further on the connections between certain interdimensional races and humanity's past, and the process of how this interdimensional race, where they want to take this timeline. And if you look at the information presented that I've written about in Entwined and in United, I take the timeline to the very brink of when it was going to when the final card is about to be played, and who is the real force behind even the interdimensionals, which David Icke talks about as well in his research over the last 11, 12 years. And I take it to a place where the final card is almost played, but the forces that are out to stop this interdimensional controlling hand, and the force behind that, which is, shall we say, an AI force, gets stopped. But David Icke's work has been instrumental for me, and his information, his research, especially the last 5-6 years, really helped me to bring United, which is the last book in the series I've written with Harmon Sueno. Entwined and United are a series. That book, the last 5 years of his information he's presented to me, to the world, I should say, and that I took and read, especially from this book up here as well, David Icke's Everything You Need to Know But Never Been Told, has been essential in regards to the archons, the force behind the controlling reptilian, Draconis reptilian race, which I perceive to be the henchman, so to speak, for this archontic AI that overtly controls them through the reptilian and the cabal of other interdimensional beings and extraterrestrials they work with, controls them through their biology, through an interface between technology, the AI, and their own biology, which is implanted in their physical beings, holographic physical beings, in order to control them into the hive mind of the AI archons. So there you go. There's my collection of David Icke books, amongst other books on my shelf up here. And I hope that you potentially will look at buying some of David Icke's work and looking at David Icke's website and discerning for yourself if it has any relevance to you in regards to your conscious personal awakening experience. Thanks for watching. I truly appreciate it. Mate wa. I'll see you again soon.